All right, well, this is a experimental stream. I'm not sure what's going to happen from this. We're gonna see if this works. I gotta kind of see if YouTube is live with this or whatever. I don't know if this is going to show yet. It's going to take a little while before it shows on YouTube, so it's a bit of a delay. So I gotta try refreshing it again. Yeah, we got live now. Okay, I can click on it. Sure. All right, that looks good. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm doing this. I gotta close that though. I guess I don't need any of this anymore. This doesn't need to be up. It's a dashboard stream monitor. It's looking okay, I guess. Yeah, no problems. Playing the sounds of silkworm. By whom? Well, that is an interesting, let's see, what do I have here? I think it's probably in here, right? I think it's in here. I put, yeah, silkworm. It's by, Quintus Moriera. That's who it is. It doesn't say on the... I should probably write that on the MP3 so I can... Oh, if I change the name, I think it'll probably... whatever. Okay. Maybe I should pause it. I should like change the name though, so it says... There's no metadata in this file for some reason. Quintus. Okay. There we go, like that. Now it's got the name and everything. And now I can play it, right? I just, there we go. I think I'm spelling his name right. But in any case, there it goes. I can see it on the VU meter, so it should be a good background level. I've been going back and forth on as to whether... Wait, hang on a second. Do I have repeat on? Repeat is on. Okay, because this is kind of a short song, but I just want it to keep... I want it to keep repeating. So I don't have a playlist. I don't have a whole bunch of stuff ready, so I'm just going to leave that one and let it play. I do have the chat up if anyone's out there, but I don't really know if anyone's watching today. I'm not really paying much attention. I guess I can close this. I guess this is good. What's this? Okay. Okay. All right, that's good enough. All right, I've got a rear view here. So I got a webcam on the other side. It's kind of a tight angle webcam, so it's way back, you know, way back on those shelves you can see back there. So this is kind of like a back view. This is the regular view, and then I've got some close-ups. You know, I've got zoom, close up, like this. I think I should probably have it like this. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, right. All right. I probably should put those on hotkeys if I can. I don't know if I can, but let me see. Since I'm wasting time live streaming and like still setting things up, let's see. I gotta look for my scenes, my webcam. They're gonna be in alphabetical order, I think, right? So, yeah. Okay, so, and I want to do okay, so I'm going to do 1, 2. No, okay. Master 2, I want to be... okay, say 2. So I want it to be... this one. Okay, so this is going to be 4. No. This is going to be 3. This is going to be 4. And then 1 and 2 are going to be these, so that should work, right? So right, okay, right, okay, so 3 and 4 are going to be my go-tos for getting up close. I don't know, so there's no plan. That's with me, you know, you don't have a lot of planning. That's just kind of the way it goes. So what I'm doing is I've got on my main monitor, I have like a big version of what you're looking at. So whatever you see, that's what I see. Maybe I ought to move that over so that they don't overlap. I mean, that I guess would make sense. That would make some kind of sense, wouldn't it? So when it comes to webcam 2, I could unlock that. I could just move this over like this. And then when it comes to this view here, I could just... that's the wrong way. So like this. There we go. And then I could just do it like that. Okay. And then if I lock that down, then... I don't know. I was experimenting with having the TV on in the other room, so I'm going to check and see if that's working, okay? All right. Well, this is ostensibly about dreadlocks, but dang, I don't really know. I probably could turn the music up more. Because I can hear my voice in the other room there. So in any case, it's not a very good view, this rear view. It's a terrible webcam, and it has to be really far away, so you can kind of see it right there. It's on those shelves. It's kind of on the shelves, and it gives me a rear view. And so I can do, okay, well I can do, like, I should probably switch those two around like that. That's my normal blogging view. You can kind of see there's like a bunch of stuff back there. Some of it's the hair stuff, and some of it's just stuff that has been coming in the mail for me to test and stuff. And so I don't know, yeah, I should go turn that down because I can hear pretty well. So all right. Well, so I'm not sure what to tell you here. I'm not monitoring audio, although I do have Discord up. So maybe I should put the Discord window up. Maybe I should put my webcam controller thing over there. I got autofocus turned off because it doesn't do a very good job. So, yeah, okay. So, I might have to take these off. I don't know. Things get blurry for me now, but, you know, I just have to, this makes my eyes look bigger too. Reading glasses, they do magnify the size of your eyes. I have a couple different ones. They're not very strong. They're kind of all kind of the same. I have they're kind of tilted. All my weak reading glasses are kind of tilted down so that they don't catch the light. So if I look up, you'll see that like normal glasses would catch the light when you're looking straight ahead, but they're kind of like tilted so that you don't get a reflection like that. And I mean, you probably can do that just by moving around lighting, but I have limited lighting. I have limited lighting choices, so I don't really have a lot of I don't have a lot of lighting choices or whatever. I realize I could probably turn this light though, right? This light could probably be shining. Ooh. I do not want to push any buttons there. Yeah, that light. I just realized this light really could be. Shining over there more against that wall. And then, you know, the idea of that is it fills out more side of your face. So I can actually see properly now because I've got mirror image. So I'm kind of using the monitor as though it were a mirror. And then I should probably, gosh, nobody wants to see my mug this close up, I don't think. But anyway, but for purposes of the video, that's what I'm doing. So, I think I've got it the right range here. All right. And yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm not sure where to go with all this, but I mean, I'm just kind of getting started. I guess I could talk a little bit about what I'm planning to try to do anyway. And oh, but I do want to reverse those hotkeys. I've got my hotkeys in the wrong order. I just realized. So hang on a second. What's this? Studio mode. I don't want that. I want to just hit the settings button. And then from here, I want to go to hotkeys. And then I want to go down here where it says webcam. Those are going to be kind of in the W's. And I want close up to be 3 and then zoom to be 2. I think that's good, right? So then I have regular, all right, well, what's happening here? What's happening? All right, hang on. Oh, I think I just found a bug. I think I just found a bug. Yeah. Okay, let's hit that. Okay. All right. I just found a bug in OBS for sure. All right. That's a little bright because the light's out there. Maybe I can turn some lights off. Maybe that would probably be better. I don't know. Okay, so we'll try that light. That's not too bad, I guess. There's that. So there's that light, and then or there's the overhead light. And that one pretty much is how it was before. And then both of them together, like that, it's a little washed out. Or none of them. That's no good, really. So, gotta have probably that light at least. So, alright. So, yeah. I've got, okay, I've got, this, alright, so let's see, what should I do? I should, I'm just talking to hear myself talk at this point. So, I'm not sure what to do next, but, like I said, I don't have autofocus turned on because I think I'm gonna be around this distance when I'm doing stuff. And so, a little bit of history, okay? So the last time I had dreadlocks, I cut them off. These are my dreadlocks. There's a lot of my own hair in here, and then there's a lot of yaki braid, which is a straight hair, artificial hair, which I use to make them longer, because my hair at the time was sort of a medium length and I wanted it to be long, so I kind of went for lengthening them. But what I didn't know or really understand is that if the hair you're using isn't frizzy, then when you make up dreads, like dread extensions, or make your dreads longer, whatever, they're going to be rather heavy because the And so all this on my hair was pretty heavy. I got used to it, but it was very heavy. Oh, hey, Diffsid. I'm not going to play any songs right now because I'm talking about Dreadlocks. And I hopefully I got my description changed in Mixer, but if not, maybe I ought to look that up and see what I did do. I'm not actually sure. So, let's see. Let's see what it says. Unless you're coming here because you came here before. Alright. Well, I can definitely change that to IRL in any case. Now, is that saved? Do you have to save it? Or, yeah, you have to click save. Alright, I'm clicking save. Alright. Alright. Alright, it's good. Okay. So, not music this time, just I don't know, this is totally experimental. I don't really know what I'm doing, as I usually don't, you know. I mean, the thing about streaming, like, even when I review technology, I do it on a live stream, and so, you know, when you try to do, like, a technical review, you try to make sure everything's right, but basically, when you're streaming, nothing is right. So, as I've said before, you know, it's sort of, you know, just whatever's gonna happen. So, in any case, these were my dreadlocks. I kept them all because I thought maybe I'd put them back in again or use part of them or whatever. And you can kind of see, like, from here, this is kind of where they grew out. And and they were augmented as they grew out. And then, and that's right here where I cut them off. But, I was using a twisting method that wasn't very effective, and so it made it very hard to keep them the right diameter. So they'd get too big and too small, and you know, it was a little bit funny. But then I would bind them up on the end so they weren't too fuzzy looking. I didn't use wax or anything else in them. I basically just, you know, you can wash them like normal and whatever. It takes a while for them to dry, but apart from that, it's okay. Anyway, they're too heavy because the hair isn't frizzy. So now what I did was, I went and got basically the same colors. I got, what's called jumbo braid, and that is frizzy. So, and I have two different colors which I'm gonna mix together. So I have kind of a little bit blonder, lighter color, which is for highlights, and then a darker color. And I kind of have 2-to-1 on the darker color because I will need twice as much of it. So there they are in the box. So this is actually pretty close to my current color as it is, with gray and whatever white mixed in, but I am going with auburn, which is kind of a similar color to my natural color, I guess you could say. So this is a thing that I'm doing. So I'm talking about this, and I don't know what I'm doing, but here I'm looking at the braids, and you can't really see it, but the hair, it's really, it's wavy, it's frizzy. And so because it's frizzy like this, it's not, when you take it out of this sleeve, you can kind of see that it is you can kind of see that it is frizzy hair. You can kind of see that it's got ripples in it, waves. You know, it's sort of crimped. So that makes it very I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's got like little rubber bands holding it kind of from getting too messy. But so there's this one. I don't know, I could conceivably hang it up here like this, and then I make it easier to get to. I don't know, maybe I will do that. I'm not sure, but that seems like a thing I could do. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. All right. Okay. And two different colors, sort of a lighter color and a darker color mixed together. So what I did before with the other ones, it's just that it's not the hair that I used before wasn't frizzy, it wasn't very frizzy. So this is much frizzier, and that should make a looser dreadlock. Even when you tighten it up, it should make a fairly lightweight lock, you know. So I don't know if I'm really going to get started today, but I'm going as far as I can, as I feel like. I haven't been into this stuff in a long time, so I'm looking at my tools that I had kind of collected before. And what do I have here? What is this? I've got some stuff in here. What is this? These are knitting needles for knitting. I don't know why they're in here. They do not belong in here, but they're knitting needles for knitting socks, actually. And then I've got some kind of long chain in here. I don't know what some of this stuff is. Oh, well, it's kind of hair related stuff, that's why. But there's some hair combs and a braid. This is my wife's hair right here, I think. This is a braid made out of my wife's hair when it was really long. That's nice. This is all her stuff. I'm not sure why I have it, but I do, evidently. Okay. Alright, well, in any case, there's that. Let me see, I got other bags of stuff in here. This is a tool. This is like an isolation thing, so you pull hair through it, and then you can work on it without tangling the other hair. It's not really that necessary, especially when you can see. But, I've got, this is a latch hook. Looks like I've got more than one of those in here. Yeah, I do. I have two of them. So I'm not sure if these are in, oh, they're in fine shape. Yeah, this is a latch hook. It's like to pull things through other things. You can use that to bind things together. I've got some upholstery needles that I used before on this, and then there's some big clips to hold your hair, like, you know. I had some brown sewing thread that I'd use sometimes for like binding it together, making it, but I don't really need that. Let's see what this is. And this is a teeny tiny latch hook. This is also for dread. This is for doing natural dreadlocks. This is like a little needle with a latch on it, so you can pull hair through the dreadlocks when you're refining them. If you pull them through, you'll get, let's see what else I got in here. Yeah, this is a threader. I use this as a threader. I don't know what this little tube is. I'm not sure what I use that for. I might have used that as a measuring device. I've got some big banana clips here. I'm not sure what those are for, or why I had those here, but I have some things, and I don't know, there could be more. Like, I had some needles. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, so yeah, okay, so here's some more needles, some needles and threads. This is some more upholstery needles and stuff. I usually have it in a piece of foam. It helps me to not lose it. And then some of these other needles are for just other things. And then let me see what all is in here. Are there any tools in here that I would need to make use of besides these clips here, these little clips? I've got a few of these. These clips tend to wear out. You know, they kind of, the teeth, the tines break off of them pretty regularly, so clearly a lot of these are broken. And I've got a comb like this. Some little rubber bands are in here. I've got some kind of a little sewing kit in here with some little scissors. So these are some, what is it? There's a scale. I'm not sure what I used the scale for. I used it for something, but it had something to do with this project. This is like a little balance scale. I used it to measure the weight of some things, but I don't really remember. Oh, here's more needles. Here's more needles in a needle. These are more upholstery needles, and they're in here. So I got more of them. And I don't know what else I've got in here. Some little clips and yeah, these scissors are. There's like a little bobbin with some brown thread. Oh, I used to kind of carry this around with me so I could repair my dreads on the fly. I had some threaders. There's some green threaders in there. They're to thread needles, but I hardly need them. These are little snips to snip out a little bit of hair or whatever. This was sort of a little kit that I had. And then these were the colors that I used before. So I had I kept the cards in case I needed to match the color, M4.30 and number 27. And so yeah, okay. I don't know, I have a feeling some of these colors, some of these numbers for colors are kind of standard in the industry. So that really could be the case. I gotta... Yeah. Now, I'm not sure whether to use these full length or not, but I'm gonna open up one of each color right now. Okay. I got one of each color here, and then, alright. So, for comparison, greetings from Poland, greetings from the United States. I see you there on YouTube. So, these are the two colors I'm gonna mix. So I'm gonna use a little of this for highlight, and then some of this. I don't really know if I'm getting around to this today. I don't know if I'm really going to do this. It's going to be a pretty boring stream, really. But, I don't know. I guess I'm live streaming it just because. I don't know. Who knows? So, I kind of want to, Let's see. What's going on with this? How is this rubber band done? Can this be loosened? Yeah, it can. So it's kind of, it can be loosened if I do it the right direction. I'm not sure if I'm looking at it the right way. Yeah, this is how you loosen it, like this. Think so. Unless it's knotted. I don't think it's knotted though. I think it's just looped. No, it is. It's just looped around it. Alright. Well, I am kind of thinking what I'll do is I'll hang these before it gets too messed up here. I can kind of, let me twist this a little bit. And if I hook, I don't know, let me see. Okay. Oh, that's never gonna work that way. I've got to hook something around this. I know what I'll do. I'll just pull this. I'll just loop this through. Because once I get it looped through, it'll be pretty secure in there. Yeah. Okay. That sounds like it could work. Okay. Alright, maybe. Oh, that's not a good plan either. Maybe I'll do it like this. Maybe I'll do it just from one end here. Okay, let me see if that's better. I don't really want to make a mess of this. I just kind of want to have it hanging here where it's, oh, I know what I could do is I could just loop it through like this. I could just loop it through and just hang it on one of these things like that. Like that, right? Where's the other end of this thing here? There it is. Okay, so I could hang one here like this, and then I could hang the other one like this. Well, I gotta take the rubber band off. It's just looped around, so it comes off. If you can see it, which I'm having trouble doing, but... So, I see the music is still playing, so that's good. It's working. Okay, let's see here. How's this, There, oh, well, it's broken now, but that's okay. I don't need it. Okay, now I can just sort of loop this through here like this, and then just pull it through, and then I'll have two of them hanging like that. Right, that's not too bad. I think that'll work, right? Okay, yeah, that looks like it could be okay. So two different colors hanging, and now that they're hanging, I suppose I could take the little bands off, and it would make it easier to get at it. I'm gonna do that. I may regret that, but I am gonna take them off. See, there's so much preparation that goes into just getting ready to do something. Alright, so here we go, like this. So yeah, I guess I'm looking at let's see here. So I'm not gonna be needing the rear view for a while because I probably won't be showing. I mean, I really, when I do work back here, I kind of go by feel. But and it's not a very good image, you know. Clearly it's not the best. But that webcam, you know, it's got a long focus, so I guess it's probably best for this distance, but it doesn't have autofocus. It's just you know. All right, and of course it doesn't help that the screen is up here. So yeah. All right. Well, in any case, this is the best I can do. So, what? Okay, I don't know. I've got this this camera's not perfectly centered, but I'm not too worried about it. It's just so I can keep the face cam going, I guess. But, this is the zoom, is this the close up? This should go like that. So, you know, if I'm gonna use this as a mirror, so it's working pretty good. It doesn't have too much of a delay. It's a little bit of a delay, you know, from my view, but not too much, so I should be able to use it. Boy, you really can see how bushy your eyebrows are. But anyway, looks like they need a little more trimming. Your eyebrows get longer when you get older, you know. They grow longer out before they fall out, and so they become like really bushy. So you have to really keep trimming them off, otherwise they go crazy. So I don't know, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I am. So I've got, look at all these needles. I definitely have a lot of upholstery needles in here. And I like this aluminum one probably the best because it's light. And I've got like a hairpin here that I use as a threader. So I kind of like, you know, you can put some hair in, then you can thread it like this. You can pull it through, and that works pretty well. So that's kind of what I've been doing in the past. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen here. I should probably make sure this is about centered, but it is. It's not absolutely vital because dreadlocks are so approximate anyway, but yeah, so all right, so I'm gonna just pull out a little of this, and then we'll see how it goes. And then I'm going to pull out a little bit more of this one, like that, like about, so that there's about twice as many. Oh, that did still make a mess anyway. All right. Well, in any case, here it is. As I recall, it's difficult to manage the hair. It's very flyaway and all, but this is much frizzier than last time I did this. So this is a much frizzier hair, so it should make a looser dread, even, you know, when I weave this together. I don't know how long this is gonna take, so I mean, don't expect much here. I'm gonna kind of put maybe one and two in here, and along the hairline in the front, you kind of want And along the top, you kind of want a nickel's width, you know, kind of size. But, you know, for the hair up in the front, you kind of want maybe a dime size. And this might be a little small. But let's see here. I will try that. You kind of try to make a little circle that's about the size you want, because you end up with polygons. Hello, Mr. Streamer UK. So maybe a little more than this. I don't know. Let me see. How does that look? That looks like it's not quite round enough. So I could get another little corner here and add that to it. And so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. So I think, let me feel it now. See, that feels like a nickel's width or a dime, somewhere between a nickel and a dime. So you can't really see my hair here. I mean, you can see it on camera a little bit, but so I've got the nickels with, I don't know. So now I can so I cannot remember now. How did I used to do this? I think I used to sort of hook this on here like that. I don't actually know. I don't. Gosh, this is a little bit like I'm trying to remember what I used to do. So, oh right, I used to pull it all the way through. I remember now. I remember. Okay, yeah. So what I would do is I would weave through here a number of directions, and then I'd pull it through like that until it was sort of similar to the length of the hair that I actually have, you know, that how my actual hair length is, and then I can kind of like tie it in. And so that's kind of what I do. Okay. All right. Okay, like that. And yeah. So there. And then I'll just, I don't know if I can follow through on this, you guys, but it's just basically weaving it through back and forth. I'm now kind of going toward the scalp because I'm trying to keep weaving it in different directions so that it'll get, you know, stronger and firmer. Like that. And then hopefully it'll kind of stay put. I think it is most likely. So there. All right, that's pretty good. Okay, that's starting to feel like secure now. And I keep going through. And then now that I've kind of got it like this, I can sort of start weaving it up like that. This really does take a long time, so don't expect it to be done anytime soon, you guys. But basically I keep weaving this through. and then I keep going until I run out of thread, or I mean I run out of hair, and then I keep twisting it back and forth, and I keep, like, if you keep twisting it different ways, then you definitely get more of a weave. You know, you kind of wiggle it back and forth, you twist it one way and then the other, and then then you just kind of keep going, and then you just kind of go up and down until you get it all, you know, until you get it the thickness that you want, which takes, you know, a while. Yeah. I'm going to do this. I have it on strong authority that I should be doing this, so I didn't really want to. It is kind of a pain to maintain these, and to be honest, I really didn't want to do it. But I guess Heavenly Father had other plans, or had other ideas, and thought this would be beneficial. So, so yeah, basically, and you can make these as long as you want, because basically the only limit is just how long you want to make it. So you can either seal it off at the end and then turn around back, or you can leave hair hanging at the end here, and so you could kind of continue it on. But it certainly it doesn't matter, you can do it anyway. It certainly makes sense either way you want to do it. It works. So, see, so now we've pretty much gotten to the end, and there we go. Now, so what I can do now is I can turn around and go back, or I can just leave this. I can just, well, I can keep tangling as I go down. That would actually not be a bad idea either. But eventually I'm just gonna cut this off. So this is all right, here we go. I guess I'm just gonna okay, that's about good. So I can just and what I've learned is the best way to cut this off is to scrape it, because then you don't have like a blunt end, so you have like sort of an end like that. All right, so that's pretty good. I mean, obviously it'll be bigger when I go over it another time or two, and I mean, it doesn't really matter with like, it's got some funny spot kinks in it, and that totally is fine. You know, the more you have, the more, you know, it's kind of like it follows Cull's law of taxidermy. No matter how bad it looks, you can always fix it. So you know, feels good, feels like looks like this got a little bit. Oh, I think this, I might be able to pull this out now. Let me see. I think I can. Yeah, because I think I got a little bit, I pulled it up a little bit on the side there, and that's fine. But So what I'm going to do is, yeah, there, see, that's really, I don't want to be on this, I don't want to be on this side of it. So what I want to do is, and it's hard to see, but where's my comb with the rat tail? There, this thing. So basically what I want to do is get another bunch here. When I get a bunch out, I'm going to get a big hank, and then I'm going to whittle it down. So this is kind of like, you just have to kind of, you feel for it, you know. Of course you can see it sort of, but I'm just going to kind of do this until it feels a nickel's width, basically. It's basically this, it's a little flat here. So I want a little bit more like that. Okay. Yeah, that feels pretty good. Okay. It's not an exact science, but, you know, you can kind of see there's a nickel to a dime size, and then in the back and around the back and down the back of the head, not in the crown, but sort of places where they don't show as much, they can be bigger. So I kind of I went ahead and twisted that together. So and so I'm going to do another one like this. And we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna start one on this side, and then when I do, then see how this is okay. So I'm gonna do basically the same thing. I'm gonna pull some hair out here. Like I don't want too much. I want a certain amount, like this. I want some, and then I want less of the lighter hair. Not quite so many. Like that. And this is going to kind of highlight it. And I'm going to put it like that. And it doesn't really matter. It gets kind of messy, but it doesn't really matter. You know, the messier, really, in a way, the better. So I'm going with pulling this through here. Pull this through the needle using the hairpin. Like that. And now I've got this. So yeah, so basically what you do is you started off by pulling it up to, you know, where it's sort of sticking out along with your hair. And then you can you just kind of like try to weave it in there. You don't usually have to knot it, because it sort of knots itself if you do it right. But you do try to get it pretty close to the scalp. And then, you know, you try to get it in there like this, and you keep kind of putting it in, weaving it upward and twisting it. And then, but at first here, I find it good to go toward the scalp. So, and the more you kind of weave it in, the more you get a secure hold. And there we go, like that. All right, so now I've got, it feels like I've got a knot there. It's pretty clumpy. So yeah, I don't know why I'm doing this on stream, but I just decided I would do it on stream. And all right, let me see here. I gotta go toward the head. Where's the needle? It's gone. There we go. All right, there we go. Now, I don't know if I'm going to continue on doing this, you know, for the whole project, but I decided I would live stream it today and just see what happens. So, feels pretty good there. All right, I'm gonna, when you can kind of tell when you've got it, because you've kind of got, you know, you've got it doesn't feel like it's gonna slip anymore. And then there we go, that feels pretty good. Okay, and then from here we'll just go outward like that. All right, and once again, you know, it doesn't really matter however it looks. It doesn't matter how bad, no matter how bad it looks, you can always fix it. So I'm glad you like it. I never know what I'm gonna do, you know, so I just basically say, you know, whatever, no matter how bad it looks, you can always fix it. And there we go. And I'm just gonna keep weaving this in like that. So I kind of like twist it a little, and then I kind of like try to get through the hair in a different direction every time, and then I can even go through the hair like that and twist it around. But and that's a good start. So and it doesn't matter, it's like pretty close to both of these are pretty close to my head, so where they start, and it's not really that hard to fix it. You can you know, keep going. So I'm just gonna basically let's see, how far do I want to go on this. Is pretty much they're not the same at all, but 100 sparks for dreadlocks. Whoa. So anyway, so this is kind of how it starts. And once again, when I think I can like go through one more time like this, and then when I cut this off, once again I want to use the scissors, but I don't want to cut it, so I want to like scrape it so that I don't get a clear edge, like I don't get an edge. So it's not like a cut off edge. It doesn't look like you just cut it off. It looks like it sort of just trails off. And that's kind of how I do this. Now, if I was going to be systematic, I would just do these little ones all over until they're, you know, how I want them to be. But you know, until they're, you know, it doesn't matter the length. I would just adjust the length later. But these are the first two, and I'm gonna make them bigger. So I'm gonna start with making them bigger. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna see how that goes. So I'm gonna pull some more hair out here, like this. So yeah, okay, so I've got some of the dark hair. I want a little bit less of the light hair, like that. And then I have sort of an auburn color, which is close to my original color, as I've said many times, talking about how when I dye my hair, so I'm going to use this again, put it in the hairpin so that I can thread it through the upholstery needle. I don't know if anyone uses this method. This is pretty much I thought of on my own. I didn't really watch any tutorials before doing this, so I don't really know. I don't really know if this is oh my gosh, this gets everywhere though. This is much frizzier hair, so it should technically be looser. So I guess I'll start with this one. Let me see here what it looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and now that I'm doing a shorter one, so I'm gonna pull this up to like here, and then I'm gonna kind of go. I'm gonna kind of go in on the hairline so that it starts to build it up on the bottom. It's pretty easy to do that once you get it bigger. If you want to make it bigger on the hairline so it doesn't look as wacky, it's really not all that hard to do. But so I don't know. I can't believe I'm doing this on stream, but whatever. I feel like I might as well. So there it is. All right. So yeah. All right. I'm doing it, and I guess I'll just kind of go on my merry way upward. I'm trying not to pull this super tight either. So yeah. Okay. All right. And not wanting to pull it super tight, you know, but just getting it, you know, just good enough. So I got some hair sticking down, so that's okay though, because you just bind this up on your way up and it works just fine. There. And you can always bind it like a different way. And you can always skip. You don't have to bind it really tight all the way up. You can just sort of go every, say, inch or half inch or so, and then just see what you got left over when you keep coming down like this. And all right, so this is kind of my method of doing this. It's a long method, it takes a long time, but it gets a really good result actually. So all right, and all right, so yeah, so you can continue. So I'm continuing to go down, and I'm just sort of tangling this up as I go so that I have like a good kind of set of like tangles on the way down. I keep twisting it one way and another, and the more I do that, the better. I don't know. Yeah, this is probably going to be about long enough, but we'll see how it gets. We'll see how it goes. You know, I mean, normally I think I'd start from the back, but since I didn't do that this time, I didn't start from the back. It's easier to start from the back in a way. So, in a sense, it's easier. So what I'm doing here is I'm feeling for... Here, let me see. I'm feeling for the last tangle, going right below it, and then I'm just putting the needle in again. And this is just the new part that I did. But, and you know, you can color your hair to match too if you want, but I mean, I may be doing that. I may use temporary. I don't know, it's easier to use temporary. And, I don't know, I'm just doing this. It's craziness, but this is what I'm doing. And you just keep going down until you got, you know, you just keep feeling for the tangles, and you twist it one way and you twist it the other way, and you know, you kind of get a good tangled thing going in there like that. And this is probably about as long as I'm going to want to go on this. I think that's plenty long. So I do like them when they're long, but I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going with the tangles here until I get to the end, until I can't do it anymore. So I should hold this up so you can see what I'm doing. So you'll see there's a tangle right there. You can kind of feel where the last tangle is, and then you can just kind of twist and go through it and pull it through, and then you keep doing the same thing basically, and then that gives you a good tangled feel all the way down. So as you keep going, and then that gives you a good base to attach everything. Do I like Poland? I've never been to Poland. I think Poland, I've seen pictures of Poland and it looks very beautiful. Though I don't really know anything about Poland other than the pictures, but I've seen some very beautiful pictures of Poland. And you're from Poland, I guess, so I guess I like you, so there you go. And all right, I'm gonna keep this tangling thing. I'm almost to the end of where I can go. I probably can't go any further. So at some point you're gonna want to bind this up, and then you're gonna keep covering it up until, you know, you're gonna keep covering it until it gets all right, this is about as good as I can get on this. I can go a few more times, and I'm just going to leave it at that. And then it doesn't matter. And then you can kind of bind it up at the end. Once you get it big enough, you can bind it up at the end until it's the right, you know, it's the right thickness at the end. And then you can so this time I can just cut it. It doesn't really matter. So that's what it looks like at the end, but it's kind of all tangled up all the way down. And it's starting to get where it's approximately the right size. You know, I'm gonna get a little more hair and put it on here. Okay, like this. I got some of this hair, so I want to put that on there too. Let's see if that's fairly well centered. Some of it is and some of it isn't, but there, that feels pretty good. Okay, and all right, so I'm gonna do another one on that. I guess I'll do, I mean, I could go back and forth and do both of them, but to see the progress, if you're actually watching this, to see the progress of how it happens, how you get one to look fairly decent, this is really what you need to see. So let's see. I want a little close up, right? So yeah, so I'm going to, it's me, Marcus. It's you, Marcus. It's good to see you. So I'm surprised anyone's tuning in for this. It's not really all that interesting. But once again, I'm going to pull this down. I'm going to pull this pretty far around now. So, and this is you can always go this way like that. All right, we don't want that. Okay, and all right. Okay, there's that. Sometimes I find it useful to wrap it around a little bit, but not onto my glasses. And sometimes that is actually pretty useful, so you can kind of like all right, you can kind of wrap it around like this, not too tight, but just to give it a little bit more volume down here. Okay, like that. Okay, and then you got a little bit more stuff to go through. So and once you go through some more stuff, you know, you got a pretty good you got a pretty good and see these needles, they're curved, so a curved needle like this is really good at getting at your scalp. And so now you kind of see that it's kind of building up down there, and you can kind of go like that, and you're trying to do a little bit of like a round. And I don't know, I'm not your typical fashion YouTuber, so I don't know about this, but there we go. Now I'm starting to get some volume here where there's, you know, I'm not making it very tight at all. It's very loose. So the idea is to not have this be very tight. So so you end up with a rather looser dreadlock. And then you don't, because you don't want them to be heavy, because you put a lot of this artificial hair on your head, and it actually ends up being pretty heavy. So, you know, you don't really want that. Let's see how. So I've got like a little spot here, like it's a little bit like it's like it needs to be filled in. So I kind of want to fill that in a little bit, and then like this, there's a little spot that kind of needs to be sewn down, and then see what we got here. And as we go down, we can kind of refine this down here. You can kind of see there's like a little thingy sticking out right here. It's the little thingy, so let's get that. Let's see if we can sew that down a little bit. And like that. See what we've got. Sometimes you have to kind of let it unwind too, because you'll end up inadvertently putting a twist on it. So and then see down here, I kind of have the same thing going on. There's like a little bit of a thing there, and we want to pull that down, and then we can kind of create more of a consistent thickness or whatever, width. Or this one is still a little bit, I mean, and you can always rub it and try to get it to smooth out too. See, that helped. And so yeah, this is like this is how I'm doing it. So when it's twisted, you kind of have to let everything go and make sure that it'll Yes, I remember you, Marcus. I absolutely remember you. So I'm going with this all right, I'm just going downward, and I'm just gonna keep filling it out. There we go, that's better. That was a little tangled, but tangling is fine. If it tangles, that's what you want. It is about, like, basically that's what dreadlocks are tangles. So, but you gotta kind of remember to keep letting it go. And I don't know what I think I'm gonna go to the length of this approximately, and then I'm going to just keep going down here until it, I'm just going to keep tangling it up. And yeah. I'll just keep going down. I'll just keep going here. I can change my view so you can see. So I'm just gonna keep adding hair to it and putting it in. I'm not more than 10 strands. I have maybe 10 or maybe 15 strands at a time. I probably should do less, but I don't want it to go that slow. Remember, you're gonna have about 100 of these in your head when you get done. So, and of course the ones in the back can be bigger, so it doesn't really matter. You don't have to you're not actually shortening your hair like you really would be with dreadlocks. Like, you'd be pulling them in and tangling it up so that it keeps a kind of a uniform thickness, even though it's just however much hair you have there. But you can just, I'm just gonna go all the way. I'll take this all the way to the bottom, as far as it'll go. And when I get to the back, I do have another camera that's sort of pointing to the back of my head, so if I want to do that, I can show the back of my head. It's not a very good camera. Maybe I'll switch to the other one. I've got a better camera that probably will be a better focus, but this is I don't know. I'm already regretting using this color. Like I'm thinking maybe I should have gone with something closer to what my color is now, like some kind of gray color, grayish, steel gray or whatever, because once you once you decide to do something that's not your own color, that means you have to do something about blending it at your hairline, you know, that type of thing. So I don't think I need to go quite as... So I'm just kind of continuing this on up to the end here. It's about all, really. So now this one I will scrape. So this one I will scrape because I think it's probably going to give me a better edge there. Okay. And there it is. Now we're going to obviously want to build this up, but I think we'll start at the hairline one more time. So we'll start at the hairline one more time with some hair. We're gonna go with some like this. Okay. I got a few more over here. And there. And we want just a little bit of the light colored one. Not too much. Not as much as I have here. So this is what we have here. A little bit of the light colored one. Alright, so then by the time I finish this, I'll have one... Technically, I will have one lock finished. And then I'll continue on with the others. I don't know if I'll be able to finish tonight or whatever, but yeah, it looks good. And then all right, we're gonna go ahead and go like this. And then I'll pull this up, but I won't pull it up quite as far. Maybe I will. I don't know. It just depends. It's gonna get bound up anyway, but okay. All right. All right, there. Okay, we'll see how that works. Yeah, that's a good amount of tangle that's going on there. It looks like it'll hold together, and then we're gonna we'll go through it a few more times, but I think basically that's all right there. I'm gonna kind of wrap it around a little bit like this too. I think that's about right. And then from here I'm just gonna continue on. Oh boy, getting stuck in the glasses. We don't want that. Maybe I should take these off. I don't know. I mean, this image is pretty fuzzy anyway, so it's not really a great image anyway. So there, let's just kind of continue it on now. So there we go. I'm kind of doing it by feel now. I've got like some area here to fill in, and then I'm gonna go down. And yeah, so this is looking pretty good. And Yeah, then once I get this more or less in there, then I can just sort of go down, and I'm going in random directions. And I should move my drink over so I can see the alright. And then this is you can kind of rub it too, you can roll it between your palm or your fingers or whatever, and you can kind of get a more even, you can kind of even it out a little bit. So this is a very methodical way to make dreadlocks. It does take a long time, but all in all, you know, you only have to do 100 of these, and once you've done that, then you're pretty much done, except for tightening them up every once in a while, every month or so. And maybe every week or so for the ones in the front. And I don't know. I'm just this is what I'm doing now for some reason. So what am I gonna say? I'm just doing this. I don't even know what time is it. I'm looking, see what time it is. It's like oh, it's 3 in the afternoon for me. And yeah, once again, you gotta let go sometimes. Make sure you're not all twisted up, because you keep twisting it this way and that, and then so what ends up happening is you kind of start putting a permanent twist on it, and then that makes everything tighten up too much. So so yeah, and that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good on top. So I'm thinking I probably won't do any more up here. It feels pretty good, and I don't want to make it too tight, because if it's too tight, it's a little uncomfortable, or it can be a little uncomfortable. So you know, and then it like takes a day or two to grow out when you make it too tight against your scalp. So you don't really want that. It's very, that can be very uncomfortable. So and then I'll show you what happens when we get to the end, but it's not quite there yet. Like the next time I do this, the next piece of hair I put in, it'll probably be time for this. But I'll show you like where you reverse direction and you try to create an end. But I don't have enough. I don't have enough for this right now, so I guess I should be changing to this view when I'm down here like this. And yeah, alright, so I'm just kind of weaving this in. I'll just weave it all the way down as far as I can. And I don't know, actually it might be how long do I want to make these? I mean, the ones in the back, I probably want to be down to my waistline, my belt line, but I don't want it longer than that, because that's usually, I mean, that starts becoming a pain when it's longer than that. But so I'm gonna go ahead and say this is probably plenty long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this and fold it up, and then I'm gonna start going back up with what I've got here. Alright, like this. So now I'm gonna reverse direction. Like this. Yes, I love PewDiePie. As you know, you must know that. PewDiePie is my hero, in a way. I mean, you know, I like PewDiePie. And I hope he doesn't, I'm glad he's taking a break. He certainly deserves it after 10 years. But, I hope he doesn't, and then another thing you can do here, when you, get to this point, you can kind of like, you can pull this all the way in, through, and then you can pull this out, and then you can cut it off And then if you cut it off like this, then the needle comes out. And then when you pull it out, I don't see how bad this looks, because it's gonna still go. It needs to be gone over more, but it'll bind up more on the way. Now you have an end. It's just starting to form. Okay, so now I'm going to now I'm going to get some more. I'm going to start with not as much. Like I said, not a whole lot. Okay. Like, see how this looks here. I don't know. It doesn't look like I've got it very right here. Alright, here, like this. It can kind of become a mess, but this hair, it's very thin, and you can always, you know, like whatever kind of falls off of it. And then I'm going to put a little of the light hair on, not too much, just some. Just like that. And I got 2 colors. So this is a little bit bigger hank, but it's not that critical, you know, like I said, if you have more, it's better to use less than more at a time, but you can use more and it's okay. It can just end up looking a little chunky if it's this much. This is a little more than I like to have in here. Oh my goodness gracious, this is a mess here. Let's see here, I gotta... Okay, let's see how that looks. This really got tangled, but it looks okay, I guess. Alright, that looks fine. So I'm not going to start at the top now. Now I'm going to start right here in this little hole. There's like a bit of a hole here. Like a little bit of a something. So I'm going to start here. And I'm going to kind of go until I have... I'm going to go a little bit toward the hairline, and then I'm going to go a little bit back. And it's not as thick, you know, at the beginning, because it's sort of the way it the way it sort of you know, kind of tapers off at the beginnings. So let's see where I'm at here with this. So you can kind of do this, and I'm just going to kind of go down the thing here and see how it looks. There. All right, that's looking good. See, it's already looking like dreadlocks now. See, because I've got it thick enough at the hairline, so I'm gonna go ahead and just go on down here. This is a good long one, so all right, let me see what I got here. So I'm not making this very tight, but okay. All right, there's a little bit of... Okay. Oh, it goes everywhere. It's gonna be a mess once I get going on this, but... Alright, so you can kind of see... Oh, let's close up. That's this one. So you can kind of see here, there's a little bump there, but I'll rub that out. That'll be fine. And then, so I've got, I'm trying to make a little bit more of a consistent length, or I mean a little consistent width, and but not too consistent, but you know, somewhere around there. And I'm just gonna keep weaving it in, and I'm gonna go down, and then once it's thick enough, I'm gonna leave the taper on it. Like, I'm gonna let it taper, but I want to get it to a certain point here before I allow that to happen. And so, you know, this is what we're doing. And so I'm just gonna kind of go. I'm not sure how much taper I'm gonna allow or I'm gonna want to have, but it's sort of, I'm just gonna go downward, and then when I get to the bottom, I'm gonna turn around and go up. So that's kind of what I do. Yeah, and I just keep stitching it in on the way down. This takes a long time, but I did this once before. It took a long time, but the second time I did it didn't take as long. But I actually used the existing dreads I had that I cut off, and so I only had to do a little bit and then splice them on and then patch it in. But since I'm starting from scratch now, it's going to be pretty time consuming. And so that's kind of how it's going to go this time around anyway. And yeah. All right. So I'm getting around to where I'm binding up the end hairs that are sticking out. So I don't know how well, but the more you go over it, the more you bind it. So it's not a huge concern. It really kind of takes care of itself over a certain amount of time. And I'm liking the way this hair is feeling, as far as it's really this hair, it's nappy, feels nappy. So it's a little bit more like my own hair. It's got a definite kink to it, and that makes a looser dread, so it shouldn't be as heavy. It shouldn't be nearly as heavy once it's all done. So we'll just keep going back and forth on this. All right, and then here, see, I'm basically at the bottom. So you can kind of see there, I'm at the bottom, and so I just want to go all the way to the bottom, and then I want to go back. And also, I'm not going through all the way through through the middle every time, because that would keep making it tighter and tighter too. So I don't want to do that, especially once I get to a certain size. So now I'm going to kind of work my way back up on this. I'm going up. Okay. And I'm not going through a lot like through a lot of hair each time. I'm not going through the center, so I'm kind of going through the outside. So, because I don't want to make it too tight, because that's what I don't want from before. I don't want it to be too heavy. So, all right. So I'm just going to go ahead and, so I'm turning around and going back up, because, you know, I might as well, because I don't need to make it any longer. So, basically, this is all I need to do is just pull it through like this. And once I get to where I can't, like, so I'm getting close to where I'm sort of at the end of, I can't stitch anymore. I can pull it up in, but I can kind of like, let me see here. So what I want to do is, I want to, this time I want to kind of go in, like through and then out. Okay. And then I want to cut it. I want to cut it, and of course not, I want to cut it, but not sharply across, because I don't want any blunt edges. And then, so I sewed it through. Now I'm going to pull it in. So now it's going to be pulled in. It's probably not perfect. You can always cut a little bit off if you need to. But there you go. I'd say it's not done. I'd say, I mean, you can kind of see it's got a taper. It's thinner at the bottom. And I might want to leave it about like this. So I might want to, just start like here-ish and kind of continue on down. And that's pretty much, I don't know, I sort of remember I used to do this thing where when I would pull it up when I did it, so that they kind of hung this way more, so that it didn't hang right straight down. But it doesn't really matter. I think I'll figure it out one way or another. It'll probably be fine. So I don't know, this one really could be done. I could call this done, really. You know, or I could go with one more. I could go with like a rather thin one, maybe. Like, very little. Okay, like that. Okay. Yeah, this goes everywhere. Yeah, I'll start with the thinner one, and then, I'll pull it through the needle here, like that. Okay. And I don't know, should I leave this view on or what? I'm actually not too sure what I should do. But this is okay. There we go. Got some extra hair down there, but that's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start maybe here this time. I'll just start here, and then since it's thinner, I'm going to keep some of it. I'm going to keep some of it in, and kind of bind it up on my way down. But this kind of feels right to do. I don't want to sew it, like I don't want to do it that many times, and I don't want to go through the middle. So when it starts to feel like you know, you have to push it through and it's tight, then maybe you're getting it a little too tight. So, you know, just as long as it feels loose when it goes through, that's what you want. You don't want it to be too tight. All right. Every once in a while, you'll feel like a little fid or a little loop or something, and you can kind of fix that. You can kind of pull it down. Whatever you do, you know, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but okay. I guess I'm going to go ahead and continue this on down. And then at some point, I'm going to reverse, but I'm not going to go all the way to the bottom, I think, this time. So I'll probably go down to about 3 inches from the bottom, something like that, and then turn around. And I think that'll probably be, I'll call that good. So I'm going to call that good when I get down there. So this is, I'm not, you know, I don't have a lot of hair on this particular needle's worth here. This is a, so this is kind of I don't know, like I don't know. Okay, that's it. I'm down to about where I want to turn around, so I'm going to turn around and go back up. And that's what I'm going to do. Sometimes you gotta let go and let it untwist, as I've said. And there. And this is what I'm doing. So I'm kind of working my way up now. Sometimes I go back, I turn around and go back, and because I'm filling in a little, like what I feel like is a thin spot. So I can you can kind of fill in spots as you feel it. You know, you can kind of feel where it's thin, and or if you know, I mean, it's not that it's weak. It's not weak when it's like that. It's still not gonna break or anything, but you definitely can feel where it's so I'm adding a lot of hair to my own, obviously, but I'm not sure. You see, this is going far. The hair that I'm using, it's going very far, so I feel like it's very efficient because it's not straight. And so that's creating, you know, more air spaces between the hair, you know, between the pieces of hair and whatever. So this is I'm gonna go up, and if I end up going up too far, I will just turn around and go back down, because otherwise I don't want it to be too thick at the base. It's already thick enough, I think, and we'll see kind of where we end up. But if it goes up to about here, I'm around about here, I think I'd turn around and go back down. So yeah, it's feeling a little looser up here, so that's okay. I can kind of go until it gets a little tight again. So that was a kind of tight spot, and then now I can sort of just I'll just sort of go back down, and might as well just kind of go on down, and then let's see if I'm how it looks here. I've still got like sort of an area where I can kind of like weave it through, and then pull it through like this, and then if I cut it off, like that, scraping it, and then pulling it down. That pulls it in, so there's no hair sticking out. It got pulled all in. So that's one more or less done. You know, you can kind of rub it to make it go together a little better, but you know, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So that's number one. I'm doing number one and number two here, and this is basically what I'm doing here. I'm gonna do the same thing to this one that I did to this one, and hopefully get them to about the same length. I might want this one to be longer, I don't know, but I mean, the beauty of this way of doing it is you can always make it longer if you want. So, you know, it's not hard to do. And so yeah, let's see what this one feels like here. See if this one feels properly done. This one, actually, I probably could have gotten a little bit more hair into this. You know, honestly. So this is a little bit better, maybe. I don't know. You got to watch out for getting too much or getting them crossed over. That can always be problematic. But we'll start with some here. Let me see. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm getting the light colored one and the dark one mixed together. And hopefully, there we go. That feels good. Okay, so and you know, generally speaking, the more tangled up it feels, the better it is. So I mean, because it's basically, dreadlocks are sort of ordered chaos, I guess you could say. What just happened here is something weird. But there we go. All right, there we go. Okay, maybe having these hanging up so close is not a good idea, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, that looks okay. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to basically start with this, and then I'm going to just grab like that. Okay, like that. I'm going to grab some, and then I'm gonna go through here where it'll knot, and then I'm gonna go through down toward the hairline. Okay. See this? I got a bad spot here. How do I fix that? There we go. There we go. All right. And because we don't want that, we don't want to get these to get knotted together. But sometimes you can't avoid it. Sometimes you can fix it later. So no matter how bad it looks, you can always fix it, as I say. And then I'm gonna just loop this around a couple times. So Okay, like this. Okay. All right. No matter how bad it looks, you can always fix it. Okay, so I don't know how I'm not see okay. So there we go. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Now I got it going on. Okay. Okay. Now I've got, so you can kind of see how long this one is here, so I'm going to kind of try to make this one of a similar length. Okay, we'll see how that goes. We'll see if I can get it to a similar length. And I'm not going like really. Okay. And I'm going down a little at a time. So I'm gonna, you can kind of see it looks like it's uneven, but it will even out. It's the way it's attached, it will even itself out, and it will be fairly even with the other one when I go over it a few more times. So I keep twisting it this way and that so that it goes through, you know, the hair a different direction every time. And there it is. Now I'm gonna kind of start tangling it on the way down until I get to where I want. All right, so I'm about there. Let me see. It's a little bit further. I got to go a little bit further. All right. All right. See how I got here now. I think I could probably turn around and go back, right? I think probably I could. So, not quite there. I'm not quite turn around and go back length yet. I'm getting there, but not quite. So, it's getting there. Okay. All right, now that could be about right. Okay, so I'm going to say that. I'm going to call that the end. I'm going to call that turn around and go back spot here. Okay, so I'm turning around and going back. Okay. All right, that's pretty good. Yeah. I didn't really get that very well on the way down. I could have done a much better job. But it doesn't matter because I'm going to go over it again and it'll be fine. So, okay. Alright, there's the needle. Okay. Alright, now, another bit. Okay. Okay. We'll see how this goes. All right. Now, okay, now that one's got to get out of the way. But I want to... Okay. There we go. Oh, gosh. Okay, so... So sometimes I flip it around the other way so that it won't always be, because I'm right-handed, so that I won't always be going the same direction every time. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. Okay, now okay, let's see what that, it's looking pretty good there. Okay, like that. Okay. And, all right. Now. Okay. So. Okay. Okay. And now I'm doing the same thing as I did on the other side. I'm still starting at the hairline, but trying to keep it bound up all the way down. I'm making dreadlocks, grandson. And let's see, sorry I haven't been paying attention to the chat. I see it up there, but I get so engrossed in what I'm doing that I don't notice the chat when it pops up. It's supposed to make a little noise, but it doesn't. The little noise thing doesn't work. And I've never been able to get it to work, so I don't know what's going on with it, but... it's supposed to make a noise, though. And it doesn't. All right. So all right, let me see if I can get this to bind a little bit better down here. This is kind of a bit of a mess down here. This end, but that's because it's just starting. So it doesn't take that long. So thank you for the follow on Mixer. Is that Mixer? I guess so. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and, so I'm getting to the end here. I'm gonna turn around and go back up. That's pretty much what I do on these. You get to the end, you have some extra, you just turn around and go back up. It's the best thing to do. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Okay. And then eventually it gets thick enough and you just have to keep doing it. So, okay, well, I'm already at the end of it. So I'm going to kind of stick the needle through a bunch of times and then pull it through and then cut it off and then pull it out. Okay, like that. Always good to have a piece of foam to stick your needle into so you don't lose it. You know, I have a piece of foam for like my things there. Hopefully I won't. It'll keep me from losing things. So this is not quite done up here yet. I don't think. I feel like I need a little bit more hair pulled into this, but no, maybe not. No, I guess it's okay. What have I got here going on? I've got actually some hair that needs to be pulled down. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay. All right, well, let me twist this around so that it'll get caught up next time. Okay. I'm going to try that. I'm going to go close to the hairline one more time. So, at least one more. Okay, there we go. All right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go, hopefully, there. Okay, let's see what that looks like. That looks fine. Okay. Oh boy, look at all this. Okay. I've got piles of this hair now all over me because it's falling down. I can utilize that hair later, but I have to comb that up or something. But yeah, I'm just gonna, okay, we'll just go like this, and I'm gonna loop it through around here a little bit, just because because it it helps hold it together, helps it look right. It doesn't feel like I've got it very tight. I think it's a funny length, so it's not gonna. Okay, there. Well, this is all. Okay, that's pretty good, right? All right. I do want to go through the hairline area a few more times. There. Let's see how that looks and feels. Okay, well, I'm not really down there yet. All right. I'm gonna wrap it around a few times. Okay, like that. There. Okay, now I don't want to make it too tight against the hairline because, like I said, that becomes uncomfortable. But okay, let me see here. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, I did mention that I had a musical side to me, but people always think you're, they don't really think you're serious or whatever, but I've been doing that a long time, so it's nice of you to say. All right. So today we're doing something completely different. So we're not doing piano, we're doing dreadlocks. So, but thanks for dropping by on YouTube this time. Okay. Don't you usually come by on Twitch, or am I getting you mixed up with someone? I don't know. I don't remember where everyone is, but some oh, good. Well, that's nice. I'm glad I made, because I'm just practicing a certain improvisation technique, and so it's just sort of however it comes out is however it comes out, I guess. All right, so now let's see. So let's have a look at these. So this one here, yeah. Sometimes you have to cut these or pull them out, but when they're not separated, it's really hard to get it perfect. But basically, I got two of them. This is probably thick enough down here, although I'll probably well, I'm glad you enjoyed it that much. I feel very flattered, and I don't know, what I'm doing is I'm making up multiple lines at once and trying to make them, be in harmony with each other. It's a technique I invented some time ago, and it's just a way to play more of a sort of in an orchestral kind of way. And so I guess with this one here, I'm going to go all the way down to the end. I'm not sure what I'm going to do as far as these up here. Because, see, you know, I mean, the thing is, your hairline, nobody's hairline is even, so it looks like this one's lower than that one, but it's just because that's where my hairline goes. So I've got basically the same thing. I can kind of try to build this up a little bit, but basically it's not necessary. And I'm just going to go, in this case too, I'm going to go to the end and turn around, maybe, because I think this is still pretty thin. So I think I'll go to the end and turn around. And then next time, I probably won't go all the way to the end. At least not at first. I can always make these thicker later, you know. It takes very little effort to, you know, when you tighten them up, you can just go ahead and keep going and make them thicker if you want. But I'm gonna just, I think at the end of this session I'm gonna have two dreadlocks done, and that's probably going to be the end of the stream as far as that goes. I don't think I'll keep going necessarily, but you never know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I got, you know, 2 down and about 98 to go. Basically, when you cover your head with these, you end up with about 100. Or give or take about 10. You know, you could have 110, you could have a little under 100, but basically you end up with about 100. So that's kind of generally how it works. And yeah, you still remember my little my low resolution. Oh, you know, yeah, my internet. They beefed up my internet recently. They laid a whole bunch of new fiber. And so now I get a really good uploads bit rate where I can just stream the heck out of stuff. And I don't have to use, I can use hardware streaming, or I can use hardware encoding, because I'm not downsizing. Which I probably should have just done from the get-go, even if I had to use a lower bit rate. But so I can stream in full 1080p, and then because of that, I can use hardware encoding. Because one of the things that hardware, like on OBS anyway, OBS is not very good when it uses hardware encoding. It's not very good at like taking a 1080p and shrinking it down to a 720p. It doesn't do a very good job. And so software looks better. And so actually look at, this was so long that I've actually turned around and I've actually gone all the way back up almost. So but you can kind of see the accent color and the dark color kind of coming together. And once again, you got to let go of it periodically, because you'll end up with a twist on things if you're not careful. And that's what you don't want. You don't want it to be too tight, because you want them not to be so super heavy. You know, because then, you know, when you have a whole head full of these, the last ones I had were really heavy. And, you know, I mean, I got used to it and all, but basically, you end up carrying a lot of weight around on your head. It's a little unusual. Well, I've been good. I've been getting microphones to test. Like this microphone here is not my Blue Yeti. It's one that got sent to me. Company contacted me, Fefine, that wanted me to test their microphone out. So they've sent me a whole bunch of microphones. Also, a company called Pop Voice has sent me a bunch of things. So I've gotten like a whole bunch of audio equipment. I haven't scored a free camera yet, but that would be great. But let me see here. Let's see if I can figure out what's going on here. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, I guess that's well, relatively speaking, you know, when you use your own color, this is all of the light hair, looks like, mostly here. Everything what fell on the floor. Okay. Yeah, it's all the light color. So I'm going to start another one. I'm going to go with the big piece. I'll go with a big piece here, and then I'll go with a little bit of this. Okay, it looks good. Oh yeah. So I'm actually using one of the mics that I was sent, and it really is. It's good for my above the head mic. In fact, I'm getting a new green screen filter for it, because this one I've got two foams, one on top of the other, because the green one is designed for the Blue Yeti, so it's big. And then I got a stand for the Yeti so that I can get it really close, and you know, so that's kind of a thing that I can do. But I'm gonna go ahead and go through like this. Let me see how that feels. It's pretty tangly feeling, so that's good though, right? I guess I need to get this out of the way. I mean, it gets to where you have to start kind of clipping things after a while. But, yeah, let's see how I can get that one in here like this, I think. Yeah, this feels good. Okay. All right, that's that. I'm not going to go too tight on this because I think it's big enough already up there. All right, there we go. I got it. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I used my webcam mic for a good long time, and originally I used my headset mic. I had it on my Logitech headset. Yeah, this feels like it's about as tight as it's gonna get, so yeah. All right, now let's see. As I go down here, okay. All right, now let me see. Am I going to go all the way to the bottom or not? I'm not sure, actually, in this case. Let me look at the other one and see. Kind of, these should kind of be about the same, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I guess I can go all the way down or not. I think maybe not this time. All right. And once again, if I want to make these thicker, I can. Yeah, you remember transitioning between the two, yeah. And it might have been your suggestion or someone from the early days that said, you know, we kind of like said, well, here's the webcam mic. Do you guys like that one better? And most people said they thought it sounded better. So yeah. Most people thought it sounded better, so that's why I switched to it. And that sounded much better. And then I eventually got a Yeti. And it works pretty good. This one actually is better for this one is better for kind of ambient, you know, like, you know, a foot away from where I'm speaking or whatever. It's really good for that, actually. You can turn its level down really far, even lower than the Yeti, so you can get it. You can control how you you can control how, Dad, he says. Why are you getting dreadlocks, Dad? Or Grandpa? Why are you getting dreadlocks, Grandpa? I don't know. Long story short, God wants me to do it. But I had him once before. I'm not sure what he has in mind for me or anything like that. I'm not sure what the plan is, or if there is. There always is a plan, I guess. But, you know, I don't know. Let's just say I don't know why. I was not planning on doing this again. I will say that. I was not planning on getting dreadlocks because I thought it was a lot of trouble when I had them. I had them for a good long time. And, I had him for a good long time. Oh yeah, my wife is doing very well, thank you. I know, huh? You just never know. He has quite a sense of humor, does God. So, let me see now. I think that now I can pull that in. All right, well, I'm going to call that one basically done. It's a little shorter than the other one, but I can make it longer, or maybe I will make it longer right now. But, you know, when there's more of them, you know, I don't know where I'm going to go next, but I could go along the front, you know, first or whatever. It's really easier to do it from the back first. And I don't know, like, I found that it's easier to go. So let me see. So there's your close up. Now, I don't have autofocus, but let me see. All right, there. That's kind of what you got. And you can kind of see, well, my hairline isn't even, so it's not the same on both sides. So, but it's the first two, and basically, I don't know. When I used to tighten them up, I always used to kind of go sideways, and I used to go like make sure they went like this a little bit, so that they didn't get in my face quite as much, but. 2 down and 100 more to go, I guess. You know, really? I don't know. I could make this one longer, too, if I wanted. What are these? These these are mostly the light colored ones here. So if I want to make this longer, I can take some more hair out here and get a little of this. Because I'm kind of mixing two colors together. So mixing two colors together, I'm getting kind of an auburn color, which is like close to my original color. But relatively easy to lengthen one of these. Let me go with wait, like that. It's 4, right? No, 4 is the back view. I got a back view here, but I'm not going to be using that. This is a $7 webcam that I got. It's got a real narrow depth of field, so you can kind of see it. It's attached to the shelf back there behind the second piano. And let's see. Wait, number 3, number 2, number 1. Okay. And there it is. Okay. All right. So this one's got to be a little longer. So I mean, if I want to make them exact, there's no reason for it to be the exact same length as the other one. But, you know, since it's the 2 in the front, they're kind of, I can see a reason for that. So, you know, basically just start here. And then you kind of go, I'll kind of pull this one down so for comparison, you can kind of just go on down like this, and you sort of just add tangles to it. You know, you go through like different directions. This is not what people usually do to make dreads. They use much faster methods, which are like they create tangles by ripping and twisting, and I don't know, you don't get very good control that way, is kind of my feeling. And so this does take longer, but yet I feel like produces a better result. But I don't really know if it does or not. It's just, in my opinion, I like the way it looks. I generally like the way how it comes out. So let me see here. Yeah, it looks like about that is about where I want it. So I wanna fold it back on itself. Like that. And that gave me another like 3 inches or thereabouts. And so I can go through that end a few times to try to get some kind of a solid end, a blunt end. And then well, maybe what we'll do is after we do this, I'll do a music stream. Because I gotta reconfigure it for you know, all the music stuff, so I have to change some sound devices around. Some of it I'm able to do like while I'm talking to you this way, but you know, basically I needed to like reconfigure some things in order to do that. So here we go. Yeah, so like after I finish this dreadlock, I'll do a music stream. It'll take me about 5 or 10 minutes to set it up, something like that. Let me see here. Let's see what this looks like. I gotta kind of go up and down. I've got a thin spot here, so I kind of have to go up and down a few times right in this joint area. And then it's real easy to make these as long or as short as you want. It's really easy to make it look the way you want. I have a lot of practice with this. I'm just using a different type of hair now it's better for dreadlocks because it's nappy. So it's got a frizziness to it, like a native frizziness that makes it better for dreadlocks because it makes them lighter. Makes them lighter, like weight-wise, not color-wise. So, because my original ones were made from my own hair plus some artificial hair that was rather straight, they tended to be very heavy, and I think these will be much lighter. And, I don't mind that these are kind of looking like they're tapering toward the edges too. I'm totally fine with that, because that makes them lighter too. So let's see, where's that little joint? I think it's around here. I'm kind of got enough. I think I've got enough weight on it now. So, yeah, the last time I did this, I started in the back, and then I went up. So I started by I started like all along. So I started like all along back here. So I did, quarter-sized, not dime-sized or nickel-sized, but quarter-sized hunks of hair. And I started back here, and I just started at the bottom, and then went all the way through to the front. And it took me about a week to do it. To be honest, I'm not sure exactly how long it took me, but it took, I think, about a week, maybe 2 weeks. I'm not sure. Because I'm thinking, I kind of went, I'm kind of thinking like I went to church 3 times, and every time I went, it was a little bit more in the back. So I don't know. I'm trying to think about how many Sundays it was. I'm trying to remember it that way, and I don't know. I'm not really sure how long, but it took about. Because you end up when you get dreadlocks like this, you end up with about 100 of them on your head. If they're natural, or if it's your own hair, you're going to end up with about 100. And I mean, you can see from the back how nappy my hair is. You can really see how. I mean, it wants to dreadlock by itself, and I could do them completely natural if I wanted, but it would take a long time for them to get the length that I want. So I'm just gonna do it just like this with fake hair. It's very cheap. So these jumbo braids, they cost about $1.50 each, and so they're not very expensive. And so, it's cheap. If you want to do it with real human hair, it's going to cost you about $1,000 worth of materials, I think. So it would be about, like I said, I think I figured that it would be about $1,000 because natural hair costs quite a lot. you could slowly convert to natural hair after starting like this. You know, like you could just get natural hair and use it to tighten like once a month, and that wouldn't be too expensive. I think you could probably get away with that for pretty cheap. But so yeah, I'm just going, let me see, I gotta change my view again. So I'm going, what? Right, so I'm going up now, but how far up do I want to go? Do I want to go up to here and then turn around, or do I want to turn around now? It doesn't really matter. I think I could turn around right now. I think that's what I'll do. I'll turn around and go back down. Oh, I forgot how this hair gets everywhere when you work on this. It's amazing how it, so... yeah, okay. Alright. And sometimes I would bind it up with thread to make it look neater, but that can also produce a tighter, heavier dread too if you overdo it. But I want to go in here, and then I'm gonna just go, this is the end of it, so I stick it through like that, pull it through, I stick it a whole bunch of times, and then I get the scissors to it, and like that. I try to use the scissors to kind of slash it open instead of cutting it, so that it won't, yeah. Alright, well. Okay, dudes. 2 dreadlocks. And that's going to be it. I'll be back and do a music stream in about 10 minutes or so, 10 to 15. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.